Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hey guys, today I am going to be showing you how to create a very basic rhinestone design inside of Silhouette Studio, the business edition. You do have to have the designer or business edition to do rhinestones. So even though you don't have to have the actual cameo, you still have to have at least their software in order to create a rhinestone template. All right, so I'm going to be showing you how to create this very basic rhinestone template and then how to use Cricut Design Space to cut it out. And then we'll go from there. All right, so the first thing we want to do is on my page setup here on the right, I actually have my machine set for the Cameo, but I'm going to be using the Cricut today. And then the feed type is auto manual, cutting mat is Cameo 12 by 12, and the media size is 12 by 12. And we are going to be using our rhinestone panel today to create this design. All right, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to come over to the left menu here and I'm going to grab my or click on my A for text, and I'm going to click here and just type in my name. All right, so with your rhinestone template, you want to make sure that you allow yourself enough spacing in between your letters, so that when you turn on the rhinestone, so to speak, you can tell what the rhinestones are trying to say. You can still read the word, okay? So that's going to be very, very important, all right? So one of the things, I'm going to be using this Arial font today to keep it very basic, but if you wanted to change the font, you would just come here to where it says Arial, your drop down arrow, and you would select the font that you want to use. Keep in mind that when you use these cursive type fonts, guys, is that you have to do a lot of work on them after you release your stones, and that's because you're not you probably won't have enough spacing in between your letters and um, inside of your letters because of a cursive and thinner type font. So you want to be careful with utilizing those. Okay, so we're going to start out very basic today and then gradually we'll advance from here. So we're going to go with my name and then we're going to go to object, modify. We're going to weld this and then we're going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go about right there. And I'm going to come down just a little bit so that it's not too little. Okay. All right. So oops, didn't mean to do that. Sometimes I forget when I weld that individual letters now. All right. So now I have my name here, right? So what you want to do is once you get your name and your sizing, right? We're going to come over here to the right and we're going to click on this icon here that looks like it's an arrow pointing to the left. We're going to click on that and then we're going to select this icon, which when you hover over it, it says open the rhinestones panel. And that's what we're going to be working with. Now on the rhinestone panel, the first icon here under rhinestone effect means that you do not want any rhinestone effect. The next one is if you just want rhinestones around the edge, if you want a linear feel or radial feel, okay? And then you have your rhinestone sizes, 6SS, 10SS, so on and so forth. And then you also have your spacing here. And then if you want a freehand, meaning you want to pretty much do the work to lay your rhinestones, then you can select that. And then we'll talk about releasing your rhinestones. And then here you have Based on what you select here and here will determine how many rhinestones you're going to need. And it will show you how many rhinestones you'll need once you complete your design. All right, so now that we have our name here, we're going to take a look at the three here. So we're going to do just the edge. So you can see that that looks really nice. We have two rows of rhinestones going around our letters, and everything looks good. You can still tell that that says Doris. And then if you want it to go with the linear feel, that's what it's going to look like. Now, on this particular one, guys, I'm going to increase the sizing here. This is where I said you'll have a little bit of work. You always want to pay attention to it because it looks kind of choppy right here for the D, like it's missing, you know, rhinestones because it kind of goes off the grid a little bit here from the nice and neat um, rhinestone effect we had when we used the just the just the edge. Okay, so you want to take that into consideration. All right, so when we clicked on the linear fill, it doesn't look as nice and you know, put together. You can see the rhinestones start kind of going inside of the letter here. So I probably, if I wanted to use this one, I would know that on the back end, I'm going to have to go and rearrange some of these stones in order to make it look nice. Okay. And then this is our radial um, feel. Now, this one doesn't look too bad, but it's not that big of a difference from our edge. Okay. So this is our edge, and this is what we're going to go with today. And then we're going to leave it on the 10SS. And um, we are going to now, you can see here it's showing you that you're going to need 307 rhinestones of the 10SS in order to complete this design. Now, once you do this, guys, you don't want to resize this, okay? Excuse me, you don't want to resize this. And you want to make sure that you keep track of your sizing because when you go into Cricut Design Space, you do not want to change the sizing. You do want to make sure that it goes into Cricut Design Space at the 7.914 by the 2.508. You want to make sure that's what it actually has in Cricut Design Space when you bring this design or take this design into Cricut Design Space. Now, what I would do, I would go ahead and release my rhinestones, and it's going to look like a mess, but you're good. Once you click off of it, you'll see here that everything is fine. But if you needed to rearrange some of the stones, all you would do is just click on the stones and move them around. That's what I mean by doing cleanup. Okay. Or if you had a rhinestone too many or something like that that looked really weird, then you can delete that particular rhinestone um, out, but you can start to maneuver these rhinestones on your own. All right. All right, so now that we have released our rhinestones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shape here and I'm just going to draw a shape around the name here. And that way we can still see this shape when we go into Cricut Design. We can still see um, our rhinestone shape nicely and everything when we go into Cricut Design Space. All right. And I'm going to take and I'm going to put a little bit of color on this. I don't know if I want to do, hold on. We're going to close this out for a second. And 1 minute here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our rectangle shape here and we're going to add some color to it. And that's just so that it'll be easier for us to see it when we take it into Cricut Design Space. And then we're just going to click here and we are going to send the shape to the back. And that way our rhinestones are showing here in the front. All right, so now that we have our design, we're going to now say File, Save, and you can name this whatever you like. I'm going to call it Doris 59, and my save as type, I'm going to save it to an SVG, and we're going to click OK. Now we are ready to take this into Cricut Design Space to have Cricut to cut it out for us. So we're going to bring up Cricut, and we're going to click on Upload, Upload Image, Browse, and we're going to grab the Doris 59 SVG. And you can see our design here. We're going to click on Upload, and we're going to select it and click Add to Canvas. And it comes in. Now it looks like it's bigger, but I'm going to show you here because this says 10.28 by 6.5. That's because we have this yellow rectangle around it. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down until we get to the end. And what we're doing is we're looking for our shape, our rectangle shape, and we're going to deselect it because we don't really need it. Now, if you want to have the shape going around your um, sticky flock or magic flock so that Cricut cuts around here for you and then it starts cutting out your dots, you're totally free to do that, but I'm not. I'm just going to cut the magic flock to the size that I need. Got a lot of dots. Dot, 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 dot. All right, so what I'm going to do here is that yellow shape. I'm just going to click on that eye to hide it. And now when I click on my design, you can see that my design is what we had over in, let's just make sure. I think it was 794 by 2.508. But what you can do is click on one of the dots and we can see that our dots are 0 point or 0.13, which is what it's supposed to be. So we don't need to change anything. The only thing we need to do is to click this, and in the bottom right corner, we're going to select attach so that all of our dots stay together. Okay, so now we're ready to click on make. And we are going to change this from a 12 by 24 to a 12 by 12. And I'm just going to select apply. I don't know when Cricut started making us click apply to get stuff to do what we need it to do, but anywho. So now we have it on a 12 by 12. And we're going to click on continue. And hopefully this thing still shows it. Oh, it's got 2 on here. Okay, there we go. So I'm using the Cricut Maker. I have this magic flock test that I created for myself, which I have it on a pressure of 350 for it to cut twice. And that seems to work better for me using the magic flock. Okay, we're not going to have anything in clamp A. We're going to have our fine point blade in clamp B. And at this point, we're ready to put our magic flock or sticky flock, whatever you're using. Place that onto your mat and then you're ready to put this into Cricut and have Cricut to cut it for you. So at this point, I'm going to go to my Cricut machine and we're going to walk through the remaining process. But at this point, we're done here. Cricut is just waiting for us to load our mat, okay? All right, guys, so I'm going to grab my vinyl, not vinyl, but my flock here, my magic flock, and get my mat that I'm going to use. Alrighty. Just going to cut off this little snippet of excess magic flock. And when you're using this magic flock, you're going to make sure that you peel off the backing. So I have my mat here. And since I have been using the magic flock, or not magic flock, but this crappy flock that I got from HTV Runt, I'm going to clean my blade off. And then I'm just going to make sure it's good and sharpened just by poking it a couple of times in a piece of aluminum foil. All right. We're going to peel off the backing of our magic flock. And we're going to place that on the mat. You always want to make sure you line it up properly and that you have enough magic flock, sticky flock, or whatever you're using to cut your rhinestones, that you have enough. We're going to go ahead and load our mat. And once the Cricut logo starts to flash, it'll be ready to start cutting out our circles. So I'm going to let this go, and then when it's done, I'll come back and we will then do the layering of the rhinestones. Alright guys, it has now completed cutting out. You can see it did a really good job. So we're going to take and we're going to peel this up from our mat. And now we have the word doors. Alright, we're going to move away the little bits and pieces that don't belong. And then we're going to take and put our rhinestones in there. So I'm just going to take a piece of cardstock and put this on it. Let's see if I got a good piece down here. All right, so I'm just going to take this little piece of cardstock and I'm just going to place it on there. And then I'm just going to get rid of all these little bits that don't belong. And then we'll start laying our rhinestones. So let me go into my other room. All right, guys, we have our template cut out. And today, I think I'm going to use these Mocha SS10 Rhinestones. These are, I think I got these from, I don't remember. I think it was the Rhinestone Warehouse, but I am not 100% certain. But it's Mocha. It's the color. My shirt is orange. So it should look cute on that orange shirt. All right, let me see if I can get these babies open. All right, so we're going to take and we are going to just put our rhinestones down. That is way more than enough. And I'm gonna get my brush, and you're just gonna take and you're just going to roll your brush around, and it will have your rhinestones, as you can see, start to fall into place. All you have to do is just kind of brush it in a circular motion until you get them all laid out. If you find some that are laying on their back, we'll fix those before we lay our transfer tape on top. But at this time, you're just making sure that you have a rhinestone in each place. So you can see how easy we have filled in Doris, or part of Doris anyway. And I'm just going to keep going here. And you just want your rhinestones. You can see how easy they're falling right into place, guys. And that's because our template was perfect. All right, as far as our SS10s. So I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but it is, they are very beautiful. These are SS10 mocha colored rhinestones. And now I'm just going to go in and take out any that are doubled up or that's laying on its back. We'll get those out of the way. So our S looks good. Our I looks good. The R looks good. And the O looks good. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to take, it's always a good idea to clean up your rhinestones so that you don't end up with them on the floor somewhere by accident. Take it from a pro who's done that many a times before. So I'm going to go ahead and take my excess rhinestones and put them in this tray. And then I'm going to take my little bag here and just put them right back into the bag. Okay. I think I've got some right there. All right, I think I got them all now. And close your bag up, because you don't want to accidentally spill them. All right, now that we have our rhinestones placed, we're going to take a piece of transfer tape, and let me get a nice piece that'll cover our entire design. You don't want to lift this up, guys, until you put that transfer tape on top. Once you have that transfer tape on top, then you can lift it up and everything. All right, so I'm going to turn this around towards me so I can be a little extra careful when I'm placing this down. And I'm just going to take and kind of fold this in the center and then lay it. Just like that. All right. And if you notice any of your rhinestones shift, just take your finger and kind of push them back into place. No big deal. It's not a deal breaker. But you just want to make sure everything is lined up perfectly. Okay. And then once you get them all on there, nice and perfectly, then you can actually pick this up, you know, because your rhinestones are now going to be on the transfer tape and not any longer on this piece of or this design template. Okay, so now I will be able to use this anytime I want to put my name on something, and all I have to do is just fill it in with rhinestones and then place it on whatever garment I want to place it on. So today we're going to be placing my name on an orange shirt. Now normally I don't put my my real name, Doris. Normally I use my alias Candoris, because if I'm out and about and someone called me by my name Doris, then you have a hard time deciphering if they know you or don't know you. But if I put Candoris and they call me by Candoris, then I know they don't know me, okay? Because that's not my name, all right? And I don't normally answer to Candoris out in the real world, okay? Candoris is my online alias, okay? Just so that you know, if you see me out and you call me Candoris, I'm probably gonna look at you like, well, you know me from online, okay? But there we have it. So now we're gonna press this at about 325 for about 15 seconds onto my orange shirt, and then we will be done. So for this particular project, guys, we started out in Silhouette Studio, the business edition. We created this template using the Arial font to keep it really simple. You want to take into consideration that cursive fonts will require a lot of work on the back end because they're touching, and you don't want that. So you're going to have to, you know, fix it so that it's still recognizable. All right. Your words are recognizable. And then you also want to take into consideration the size of the shirt. So if I was going to be putting this on like a person that wears like a 3X or 4X, this is way too small. Okay. But I can't increase the size here and still use SS10. This is as big as I'm going to be able to get for an SS10 with just the name Doris, okay, and this particular font. Now, you can put multiple words to make it, you know, a larger design, but just the name Doris on a 5X, 4X shirt like this is not going to look really nice because it's going to look like really too small, okay? But you can go bigger in your rhinestone size, and, you know, get it to be a little bit larger or what have you. But take that into consideration too. Your sizing that Silhouette tells you it's going to be, to make sure that it's equivalent or it's feasible for the size garment or t-shirt you're going to be placing it on if you're using a t-shirt, okay? And then we took it, brought it right into Cricut Design Space. We made sure we changed the sizing to match what was in Silhouette Studio. And when we did that, it automatically changed our holes to a SS10. Okay, so you want to make sure, that's very important, that you make sure that when you bring it into Cricut Design Space and start working with it, you want to make sure that you set it at that same size that Silhouette Studio said, and that'll make sure that each one of your little dots are applicable per the rhinestone size that you're working with. In our case today, we're working with SS10s, okay? And then once you get it cut out, then you can go ahead and iron this onto your shirt, which we're about to do. The other thing that I want to say, guys, is that I could have went right into Silhouette, and I'm not Silhouette, but Cameo. I could have used my Cameo 4 and had it to cut this out. But this particular project, I wanted to show you guys how, even if you don't have a Cameo 4, you can still use the Silhouette Studio Designer or Business Edition and still create templates, okay? You do not have to have a Cameo 4, all right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this pressed onto our shirt, and then we'll be done, all right? All right, we have our heat press heating up. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up off of the template design here. And you want to make sure that it doesn't swing back onto, you want to make sure the template or the transfer tape doesn't touch, because you can ruin your design like that. So we're going to come about here, and we're going to place that right there in the center. That's about 3 fingers down. And once my heat press gets to the desired temperature, then we're going to go ahead and press this. You don't have to worry about using your lint brush or anything like you would with sublimation. This is perfect just like this. You don't have to do a pre-press and all that good stuff. All right, so we are going to let this finish heating up. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to go ahead and press it, and we'll be done. All right, guys, our press is ready. We're going to go ahead and press.
And I actually have it on 20 seconds. Really quick and easy project to do. It just seemed like it was long because it's a video tutorial, but when you're doing this, it's really, really quick. All right. All right, came out perfect. It came out perfect. We can take this and we can put it back on the backing for our transfer, and we can reuse that. So now we have our name on our shirt. Look how pretty that is. That's the mocha colored rhinestones. So that is how you can do a design. And I just kept it really simple. You can do images, guys, SVG images. You can do shapes. You can do text like you saw me do. The sky is the limit. Okay? So chime in the comments. Let me know what you think. And that's it. All right. So if you're currently in my Facebook group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, I want to thank you guys so much for following me via Facebook. If you would like to join my Facebook group, then click on the link in the description of this video tutorial. Agree to the Facebook group rules, and we will get you in. And then if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you're not subscribed, you're seeing me for the first time, you like my method of teaching, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I think that came out so pretty. And those letters are so defined. And this is with the Arial font in Silhouette Studio Business Edition. All right. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. You know my motto, each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.